Hi everyone, Yas que to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today I have a Mediterranean twist on the classic chicken pot pie. We're making a Greek by making the chicken part a kotopita, which is a Greek chicken pie. If you've tried mine, you know you love it because it's so rich and delicious. This is not a recipe that you're going to make if you're counting calories. This is one if you're looking for something cozy and heartwarming and delicious and something beautiful to serve at a dinner party. Maybe friends are coming over. If you want to make this for your family to make them feel extra special, this is great. It's my Greek-inspired chicken pot pie, and it's filled with tender and juicy roasted chicken, lots of cheese. We have feta in there, parmesan, and some gouda, and of course a creamy bechamel sauce. And then I'm gonna top it two ways. I'm gonna show you two versions with a puff pastry topping, which is the classic American-style pot pie. And then I'm also gonna do a ruffled phyllo top, which is so beautiful and so easy to make. Let's get started. Okay, for the Greek-inspired chicken pot pie, we're gonna begin with the chicken. So I'm making a double batch of this just so that way I can show you both ways with the topping, with the phyllo and with the puff pastry. So if you're not making a double batch, which you should by the way, because this freezes beautifully, but if you're not, just follow the online recipe or cut the recipe in half. I would, just to be safer, follow the online recipe. But anyway, I'm doing a double batch, just keep that in mind. So we're gonna begin with the chicken. So I'm using boneless, skinless chicken thighs because they're just the best in this. They're juicy, they don't overcook, or if you do overcook them, they don't dry up. But you can definitely use chicken breast if you really wanted to. You're just gonna have to keep an eye on the cooking time and not overcook it. So you can do this either in an air fryer or in the oven. I'm using the oven today, so I have these in a sheet pan. I'll just drizzle them with a little bit of olive oil, season both sides with salt and black pepper, and that's it. These are going in the oven at 400 degrees for 25 minutes. Once they're done, take them out, set them aside to cool completely, and that's all that's left for that step. The next step is making the onion pepper part of this. So I'm gonna take a skillet and put in one onion that's finely chopped, but I'm using two onions because remember we're making a double batch of this. So put the onion in there with a little bit of olive oil and just cook that over medium heat until it's nice and soft and golden. In the meantime, while that's happening, we're just gonna roughly chop roasted red peppers straight from the jar. Just make sure that you drain them really well and just cut them into small bite-sized pieces. Put them in a little bowl so that way they're easy to transfer into the pot once it's time for them to go in. Once the onion is nice and soft and golden, we're gonna go in with some grated garlic, as much as your heart desires. You know, garlic is just delicious and makes everything even more tasty. The garlic is just gonna cook through for a few seconds until it's fragrant. And then we're gonna add in the roasted red peppers. Just toss them a few times, just so that way they're coated in the oil. We don't need to cook these. These are already cooked. Turn the heat off, and you can add the seasoning at this point. A little bit of salt, a little more freshly cracked black pepper, some crushed red pepper flakes if you like the tiniest bit of heat. If you like more heat, add more. And then we'll add a heaping teaspoon of dried oregano. And I also like to add thyme. You could do either or, but I like to do both. It adds more flavor and it gives it more of that fall kind of flavor that's nice and warm and cozy. So a teaspoon of each or more. And once they hit the hot pan, even though the heat is off, it's gonna wake up those herbs and just make them taste even better. Mix everything all together and then take it off of the heat, transfer this into a bowl. If you're doing one batch of it, you can just leave it in the pan because everything's gonna end up back in the skillet. I like to start off with a skillet that's safe in the oven, so that way there's less cleanup. The chicken has cooled down by now. We're just going to shred it into the onion and roasted pepper mixture. You can cut it up with a knife if you want or shred it by hand. It's totally up to you. The cheeses are gonna go in at this point. Feta cheese, of course. A little bit of parmesan, or if you have Greek cheeses like Phyllo that can go in at this point. I love gouda in this, but you can do mozzarella instead. Some shredded gouda or mozzarella goes in at this point, or you could save the gouda for the end like I'm doing. And now the last step is to make the bechamel. So the bechamel is the creaminess, the creamy component of this, and we're gonna do this in a saucepan over the heat. I'll add 1 stick of butter. I'm gonna cook the butter until it melts, and then I'm gonna go in with some all-purpose flour, cook that all together until the flour is nice and toasted and everything comes all together. Then we're gonna go in with cold milk, whisk that all together, and we're gonna season it with salt, black pepper, and some nutmeg. Keep whisking this while it's cooking so that way it doesn't burn. As soon as the mixture begins to boil, it's gonna thicken pretty quickly. Once it starts to thicken, you don't need it to be too thick because it'll continue to cook in the oven. Take it off of the heat, and then I have some eggs over here. These are whole eggs. Whisk them all up, and we're gonna temper them with that hot cream. And then we'll add the egg mixture back into the saucepan. Whisk everything all together and taste it. If it needs more seasoning, you could add it in at this point. I'll add the bechamel to the chicken mixture, toss everything all together. This is a double batch and it's almost too much for this bowl to handle, but I'll make it work and switch to a big spoon and mix everything all together. You can give the mixture a taste at this point just to make sure it's properly seasoned, and if it needs more salt and pepper, you could add it. If you're making one batch, a 9 by 13 inch baking pan is perfect, but I'm just going to use my skillet. This skillet can go into the oven as well. I'll add half of the mixture in this skillet and half into a baking pan, another baking pan, and then I'll top this with a little bit of Gouda cheese and just fold it in just a little bit. I don't mind it being on the top. It's going to create some cheesy pull, but you can totally fold the Gouda cheese into the chicken mixture and not do it at the last moment. And then if you're topping it with puff pastry, you could just roll out the puff pastry a little bit just so that way it fits whichever skillet or baking pan you're using. Cut some slits on the top so that way the steam can escape, and tuck the edges in just so that way everything is nice and neat. I like to put my baking pan or my skillet over a half sheet baking pan just so that way nothing spills over into the oven. And this can go in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit and bake for 45 minutes or until the puff pastry is puffed and golden and delicious. That chicken mixture in the bottom is going to be bubbly and creamy. But if you want to make a phyllo topping, this is what we're going to do. You want to make sure you have a stick of butter melted so that way it's ready to go. And then we're going to take 1 sheet of phyllo. If you're making a smaller batch of this, all you need is half a pound of phyllo. We're going to take 1 sheet at a time, ruffle it into an accordion, and then roll it into rosettes. It just makes it look so pretty. And we're gonna put all of those phyllo rosettes on top of the chicken mixture, brush them really generously all around with that melted butter. And this is gonna go in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's gonna bake for about 45 minutes or up to an hour, just until it's golden and crisp and delicious. That chicken filling is gonna be bubbly and it's gonna smell amazing. The puff pastry is going to be flaky and buttery, and the phyllo will be really crispy and buttery and flaky. So you let me know how you're making it in the comment section down below. Let this cool just a little bit, and you can just serve this with a green salad, and that's really all you need, and it's ready to serve. And there you have it, a delicious chicken pot pie ready. It does have a few steps, but it's totally worth it and very easy to do because I showed you just how easy it is if you follow all the steps. You'll be able to make this for your family and your friends and your loved ones. Let's do the taste test. It smells so good. Oh my goodness. I mean, wow. It's so good. This is comforting. Flavor. When I say flavor, there is so much flavor in this, and all the right flavor. You can't even imagine. It's delicious. The exact recipe is on the website. That filling is creamy and cheesy. The puff pastry is just so buttery and flaky, and of course the phyllo is just as good. The phyllo definitely has more crisp. It's also so beautiful. It looks like rosettes on top. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. If you want the exact measurements and the printable version of this, it's on the website, as always, dimitrasdishes.com. Make this for a special occasion and thank me later in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'll see you all next time. Yes,